Welcome back to Entrepreneurial Edge. Today we're diving into the world of tech giants with a story packed with innovation, controversy, and hustle. We're talking about Huawei, a company that went from 0 to 100 billion in just 3 decades. How did they do it? What were the key moments, the big decisions, and maybe even some less than kosher tactics that propelled them to the top? We're gonna unpack all of that, the good, the bad, and the ugly right here, right now. So smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Picture this, it's 1979, China's economy is struggling after decades under Mao Zedong's rule. Enter Deng Xiaoping, a new leader with a bold vision to open up the Chinese economy. Xiaoping introduces Special Economic Zones, or SEZs, experimental business hubs designed to attract foreign investment. One of the most significant SEZs, Shenzhen. Businesses flocked to Shenzhen, drawn by the promise of lower costs and access to a rapidly growing market. This economic boom set the stage for a new generation of Chinese companies, including a small startup called Huawei. Let's talk about the man behind Huawei, the founder, Ren Zhengfei. Ren wasn't a Silicon Valley whiz kid, he was a former engineer in the Chinese military. In 1987, with just a couple $1,000, he founded Huawei in Shenzhen. Their first move? Importing and reselling telecom equipment, but Ren had bigger plans. He knew Huawei had to innovate to create their own technology. The Chinese government saw potential in Huawei and backed them with $8.5 million in funding. This allowed them to invest in research and development, to start building the tech that would eventually take on the world. Huawei knew they had to catch up to the West, and they did it through reverse engineering. They took apart existing telecom equipment, figured out how it worked, and made their own versions at a lower price. By 1997, Huawei was making waves in China, out-hustling and undercutting competitors, winning contracts left and right. Huawei's close ties to the Chinese government gave them a significant advantage, securing lucrative government contracts. The 996 grind inside Huawei's extreme work culture. Huawei's rapid rise was built on a work ethic that can only be described as intense. Think 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, the 996 work schedule. They even had mattresses at the office for employees to sleep over and keep working. This relentless drive became a defining characteristic of Huawei's culture. Whether this work-life balance is sustainable is debatable, but it played a role in Huawei's rapid ascent. Shadows of doubt, espionage, and stolen secrets. As Huawei's star rose, so did the accusations of stealing intellectual property and espionage. One well-known case involved Cisco, a US tech giant, which sued Huawei in 2003 for copying over 1 million lines of their source code. These incidents fueled the narrative that Huawei's success was built, at least in part, on stolen technology. Conquering the West, Huawei's global expansion. Despite the controversies, Huawei continued its global push. In 2009 they scored a major victory, a contract to build Sweden's 4G network, home to rival Ericsson. This win opened the floodgates and Huawei expanded rapidly, securing contracts in over 170 countries. They were no longer just a Chinese company, they were a global tech powerhouse. But their success came at a cost, with Western governments growing increasingly wary of Huawei's close ties to the Chinese government. The Tech Cold War, US Crackdown, and Huawei's future. The US government banned Huawei from government contracts and pressured allies to do the same due to national security concerns. Under Chinese law, companies must cooperate with the government on intelligence gathering, raising concerns about Huawei's transparency. Western governments saw Huawei as a potential tool for espionage, marking the beginning of the Tech Cold War. This battle for technological dominance between the US and China has Huawei caught in the middle. The future of Huawei innovation in the face of adversity. So there you have it, the Huawei story, from humble beginnings to global domination in a few decades. It's a story of ambition, relentless drive, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible, but also of controversy and ethical questions. Huawei's future remains uncertain. Will they regain the trust of the West or focus solely on the Chinese market? One thing's for sure, the Huawei story is far from over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Huawei, give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more insightful content. See you in the next one.